part of Letters Live, a charity that challenges you to write a letter to anyone that you want and to read it out online. And this is my letter. Many of us have been under lockdown all over the world. Hundreds of millions are in isolation. And while in Hong Kong we are not under full house arrest, we're under some form of it. And today I woke up to discover what we call here social distancing measures. The government's euphemism for the lockdown has been extended for another 2 weeks. So these last few weeks have given me time to assess some of my relationships, to look at the meaning and value of some things close to me, especially as I spend all this time at home. So after some thought, I think it's time to write a letter to you, my toothbrush. Because of all the things that are in my life, there are a few things that I'm physically closer to on a daily basis. And I would even go so far as to say that on occasion I have taken you for granted. So this letter is for you. And this letter also, it expresses something that's been on my mind a little bit more recently as I've come to assess our relationship. But more about that later. It's only fair that you and I got out of the house today. We got a little walk around the block. Because after spending weeks at home, I can tell you how depressing it is to be locked up in the apartment for the whole day. To be shelved day after day, never getting the chance to get out and see the wider world. My routine prior to the crisis was that I would grab you, stick you in my mouth, and give it a nice wash in there. And then barely rinse you before putting you back on the shelf. I was always rushing, never thinking. And there you would sit the whole day in a little cup suctioned to a bathroom tile in my toilet. And you would remain there until I came back at night. I mean, how boring is that? You never got any further than my shelf next to my razor blade, and you would just sit there listening and waiting. Now, some toothbrushes are luckier than others. I know some people, and I won't say who they are, but they travel around their day-to-day lives in Hong Kong with little toothbrushes tucked away in overnight bags that they carry with them. And that's just in case they don't make it home that night, in case they run into an offer that's too good to be true, or too good to turn down. It's part of the new online dating culture of who you will be hooking up with next. So for those toothbrushes, it's exciting. They get to travel around the city and the world, see new places, never knowing where they will be sleeping next. So those toothbrushes lead exciting lives. But I have to confess, I'm an old-fashioned kind of guy. In fact, I'm so old-fashioned that sometimes I make my own toothpaste. Now that must be really annoying, because on occasion I'll just pour a whole bunch of table salt onto your bristly head, and I'll use that to brush. Or at other times I'll make a paste using baking soda. And from the palm of my hand, I'll make a white frothy mixture and use that to brush. And I know I'm not rinsing properly because sometimes I can still taste the salt from the last time I made my own homemade toothpaste. At other times, I'll leave you with flicks of old toothpaste stuck to your head for the whole day, all because I'm rushing and never rinsing enough. And I must admit that I never buy the expensive toothpaste. I never buy the Sensodyne. I tend to keep it to the budget Colgates or the other budget brand in Hong Kong, which is Darlie. I know that must be disheartening because nothing signals more than that you are being taken for granted. It's sort of like when your employer provides you with instant coffee instead of real coffee, or when your boyfriend sends you virtual flowers instead of real ones. And what happens when we come to the sunset of our relationship? I mean, I think we both know the truth. When your teeth start falling out, when your colors fade, when that shine you had when you were a youthful toothbrush is gone, we will both have to face the inevitable reality. Chances are you will end up in a landfill, or maybe, if you are lucky, a recycling center. And what thanks is that for all your hard work? Because it was you that helped to keep my teeth from falling out. What thanks is that for the hundreds of times that I stuck you in my mouth, scraping away the plaque bacteria, and in the process helping to prevent tooth decay? or the times that I used you to take away my garlic breath, or to brighten my smile after too much coffee, tea, or red wine. So we have been getting to know each other in a whole new and intimate way these last few weeks. This time has taught me a lot, but I've also been thinking that maybe when this lockdown ends in a few weeks, that we shouldn't spend so much time together. I think we both knew this relationship was not for life, and it's really been more of a short-term fling. Even though I need you and I'm dependent on you, the truth is that maybe we should move on. After you are gone, the sad reality is that I will find another one to replace you. It's inevitable because I can't live without another. And in fact, I will grow just as attached to that one as I have been with you. So maybe it's time that we just said goodbye.